Well, keeping your finances on track is tough enough for families, but if you're a single parent, it's even tougher because it's all on you to take care of the kids. So this morning, we're going to break down the financial decisions that are important for single parents and the ones that are often forgotten. So guest Lindsay John is here from Debt Free America. She is the education director there. And thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
And this is important to highlight now because we're talking about statistics. 13.6 million single parents in the U.S., according to the 2007 consensus, and that's raising over 21 million children.
That's a lot of responsibility for a single parent, especially to maintain a household, a family, raising children, handling one or more jobs. So you can kind of understand if financial decisions are somewhat forgotten, but you also have to understand that as a single parent, you need to make sure that your child's financial future is set. So we have a few tips that can help single parents make sure their finances are part of their top priority.
I think a lot of single parents out there, and just anybody in general, is thinking, in these tough economic times, gas prices the way they are, the last thing I can think about is putting money aside from the paycheck. But you're saying it's important to do that. You really do, no matter what the amount is.
Exactly. One thing to do especially is budget. You need to know exactly where your money is going, especially from your paycheck. And one way to do that is, if you examine your spending habits for about 2 to 3 months, be organized, write it down in a notebook or in a spreadsheet, then you can create a budget according to the average amount that's spent for whether it's food or transportation, childcare, etc.
And then also there's at least 7 areas that we want to be able to get through here. You're talking about setting goals and prioritizing.
It's very important to prioritize and make sure everything is in order, especially because you don't want to get so overwhelmed with responsibilities. And when you do set goals and you add them to your budget, be as realistic as possible and make sure that you distinguish between the absolute necessities and your wants. You also want to save for college tuition and for your own retirement. And if you haven't done so already, just take a little bit amount out of your paycheck and put it aside for your child's college savings or for your retirement. Over time, it definitely is a huge benefit.
So you're saying even if somebody can only take a very small amount, it can gain interest over time.
Exactly. Compound interest is very important, it's very beneficial. And also, if you deposit money from your paycheck into a Section 529 college savings plan or a 401k, especially if your employer does matching contributions, that's also important.
And then the next was having an emergency plan.
You are the sole provider for your child, and it's extremely important to make sure that you have insurance or disability insurance to cover you and your child in case something does happen to you.
And isn't it better, I mean, I think it's also, people think it's going to cost so much money to get a life insurance policy, but you were saying before that it doesn't necessarily cost that much.
You know what, you have to do your research and see where you can get the best interest rates.
And the earlier you start, the better. The lower rate you could, the better the rate.
Exactly.
Okay. So, and then talk about the estate plan.
Estate plans, you need to set a guardian for your child and in detail write exactly how you want money distributed to your child for their financial future.
And you don't have to have a mansion or a lot of money to do this.
Right. It's basically to make sure that your wishes are known and to make sure that your child is safe.
And then what about tax breaks? What can we watch out for there?
Well, some single parents can be eligible for tax breaks. Again, you have to do your research, talk to a professional or an accountant. Some people say that you could file as head of household rather than as a single parent, and you can still get more tax breaks.
And even on daycare, there's some people that can get breaks on daycare?
Right, but definitely do your research on it, especially the state that you're in. Make sure that you find out your tax laws.
And then last but not least, being open and honest with the kids. I mean, how open should you be about your financial?
As a single parent, it's important that your children are aware of finances in the family. And a lot of schools nowadays, they don't really touch up on personal financial skills, or they hardly do as much as it is necessary. So education starts at home, and keep your child as interested or as involved as possible in family financials.
All right, we did get through them all. I'm so glad we were able to do that. Lindsay, thanks so much for being here. It was really nice to meet you.
Thank you.
And we will have the information linked to our website at san diego6.com for the link there on Hot Topics.